We have a great evening in store for you tonight. In a few minutes, 2 members of the senior class will come up here and give a testimony of their father. Every year, this is the most emotional section of our event. Afterwards, we'll hear from our guest speaker, Coach Holtz. I've had the pleasure to hear Coach Holtz speak on a few company events and people here in Bertrand. But first, I want to talk about the Jazz Club and our accomplishments this year. Jazz Club had an amazing year. Quick recap: we raised a lot of money for scholarships through our parking efforts. For those that don't know, we park cars for every event at Raymond James Stadium. The Bucks, the USF Bulls, Monster Truck, an occasional Outback Bowl, and an occasional concert here or there. We also help with the parking efforts and traffic control at our home football games on Friday nights. So you come to a home football game on Friday night, you'll see dads not only parking, but you'll see them taking tickets, the gate receipts, you'll see them doing security, you'll see them grilling hamburgers, hot dogs, and Paula Herman's favorite, buffalo chicken. This year, we also help with the homecoming barbecue, and then we also do our annual turkey drive where we've got donated over 300 turkeys this year, which is a record for us. If you think about it, over 380 families were able to enjoy a very nice tasting dinner. We also help set up and take down everything with Gagliosa. And a few weeks later, we hosted the Olympic Village for a special Olympic ceremony. And you saw pictures out there that says it's a great event for another father-son event. 2 weeks ago, we grilled again. We grilled some Italian sausages for the celebration of the arts. And here we are tonight, celebrating our Men's Brothers Dinner. And I want to take this time to thank our two chair people, Mike Hahn and Ernie Edgar, and the rest of their committee for a great job done tonight. This year was to get more people involved. And I'm glad to say this year we had 180 dads participate in at least one event this year. What a great example for your son, your man's brother. The Michael G. Sanji Award is given each year by the Jesuit Dads Club to a current or past member whose generous services to the school community models the characteristics of a true man's brothers. Michael Sanji is a graduate of Jesuit High School in New Orleans. He served his country as a pilot in the United States Marine Corps. His two sons attended Jesuit here in Tampa, Christopher, class of '98, and Patrick, class of 2000. Michael is one of the most motivated, respected, and inspiring members of the Dads Club since its inception. A born leader and mentor, he never had to be asked to perform any task in support of the mission of the school. No matter how menial or mundane, he was always willing to go above and beyond what would be expected of a volunteer, serving as a role model, not only for our sons, but for the dads as well. He continues to support the school through service with the Dads Club long after his son graduated, never seeking reward nor recognition. His example inspired the Dads Club to institute the Michael G. Sanji Award in his honor. We are fortunate to have with us tonight Michael Sanji with his wife Barbara and her son Patrick. In front of him. We also have in attendance every recipient of the award. Gentlemen, would you please stand and be recognized right up front here. Deserving dads for this year's award. This year's recipient has volunteered over 150 hours, not only this year, but all 3 years he's been associated with Jesuit. Think about it, seniors. You guys are required to do 80 community service hours. This guy doubles you while working and raising a family. There's nothing that this guy has not done for us. Every time we ask, he's there. This is special because he's done a lot of stuff for us, and I am honored give the 2015 Sunday Award to Michael Sweet. But because of all this data that came out before that we had plenty of data we are very glad to give you $196,000.
Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Dad's Club. Thank you, all 180 men who participated in different activities. And for this great gift to our scholarship fund, thanks to all the dads who spent long hours on Saturdays, Sundays, sometimes evening games or evening events, away from your families, away from work, working for the good of the school, the good of the mission of the school. And nothing is closer to the mission of the school than Jesuits' long-standing commitment to make sure that Jesuit education is available to every qualified boy in the Tampa Bay area who desires to come to Jesuit, regardless of his financial needs, his family's capability to pay full tuition. So thank you so much. This is a wonderful testament to the work of the Dad's Club, to how the Dad's Club is so closely related to the mission of Jesuit High School. It's fitting, as Harold said, for us that every year at the Men for Others dinner, that we have a couple of seniors take some time to reflect on their relationship with their fathers, how their fathers have been examples as men for others for them. Tonight's first speaker has been a long-standing member of Jesuit High School's Key Club. He's been on the board. He's been in the Pro-Life Club, a member of Ogden Christie, National Honor Society, a leader on the hockey team, and he'll be attending the University of Notre Dame next year. I want to bring up senior Tim Dolan.
Good evening, everyone. As Father Hermy said, my name is Tim Dolan, and I'm a senior at Jesuit. Many family friends always point out how similar my father and I are. But although it's sometimes hard to admit, your observation is, for the most part, correct. We were both named Tim Dolan, we were roughly the same height, and I'm sure in 15 years, I'll have the same receding hairline. But despite these numerous similarities, my life so far has been very different from that of my father. I was born in Dunedin, Florida, the youngest of three, and quickly learned, with his older siblings, the importance of independence. One of my favorite stories from his childhood is when he came home from school one day, walked in his room, and found out his bed was just gone. As it turned out, my grandma had decided to donate it, even though it was the bed he slept on every single night. He attended high school at Clearwater Central Catholic, then went on to graduate from Vanderbilt. If I had to guess, I'd say his legacy at Vanderbilt was one of the reasons I was not admitted. I moved to Arkansas, where he met and married my mom, but only lived there briefly. Following my sister's birth, they moved back to Clearwater so he could take over his father's business. And this is where I enter the story. In May 1997, they had me, their second child and first son. And although I was not as much of a handful as my older sister, I still gave them something. A story my parents loved to tell is how one night as a baby, I just wouldn't stop crying. But it was my dad's night to watch me, so naturally, he tried everything he could to get me to stop. Finally, he was just so desperate, he decided to strap me in the car and go for a car ride. Within a few minutes of driving around, I suddenly stopped crying. But when he returned home a few minutes later, thinking he was the most ingenious dad in the world, I went right back to crying. So from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., he drove me all around Tampa, only stopping by home in the morning to drop me off to my mom to go to work. And this is just the first of many instances of my dad's selflessness towards me. If you take into account the early morning practices, Canadian hockey tournaments, and trips to Montana, I owe him a lot, and I'm blessed that he's willing to do so much for me. However, it was not until high school that I realized exactly how much my dad had done for me. As I mentioned before, his childhood and family life were much different than what mine are. While my dad was growing up and living at home, his father was an alcoholic, and his mother was often too busy to focus on raising me. However, these things did not cause him to go down the wrong path. He decided he would never want to put his family in the same situation. So he gave up alcohol while in high school and became to me and my siblings the father that he never had. In doing so, my dad provided for me something more beneficial and long-lasting than all the practices and trips. A role model that I could follow. Religiously, he has taught me to place God first, even if it means merely missing a hockey game to attend Mass. In our family, he has demonstrated the importance of maintaining relationships, even with those who have turned away from us. And as a father, day in and day out, he has taught me the lessons I need to be a man for others and raise my own family one day. So, Dad, I thank you for all that you've done for me, for always being there, not only the times I won tournaments, but even in my last game when I scored no goal. For coming home from work tired, but still taking time to go to football with me. For always showing me that family comes first and work comes second. But most of all, Dad, I thank you for loving me through it all. And if we're as similar as they say, I hope I'm similar to you in the man I am to become. I love you, Dad.
Our next speaker is also a member of National Honor Society. He's the president of Students Against Destructive Decisions. He's been a 4-year varsity athlete, first 4-year varsity lacrosse player at Jesuit, and he's the first from Jesuit and from Tampa signed Division I scholarship. Will be playing at Mount St. Mary's next year in Emmitsburg. Stefano Nastro.
Has done many things to me. He's been a friend, a coach, a role model, and most importantly, a father. Anyone who has met my dad can understand he is an 18-year-old in the body of a 40-year-old. Once you meet him, you are forever his bro. And instead of a handshake, you're going to receive a fist bump. Also, there's not a time he doesn't insist on hanging out with all the boys, playing ping pong, watching movies, or even volunteering to play goalie for lacrosse shootouts, which mostly end with him bruised and injured. My dad has also taught me many things about life. One of them is how to live dedicated to the people he loves. A perfect example is the countless lacrosse tournaments we have attended together. We have traveled everywhere, from Texas to New York, attending lacrosse tournament after lacrosse tournament to help me reach my goal of playing college lacrosse. He was willing to help me do whatever I needed to do. No one believed in me more than my father. Countless times I've doubted myself and wanted to give up on my dreams, but he always refused to give up on me. One moment I specifically remember was the day I verbally committed to play lacrosse in college. I'd finally done what I had set out to do since freshman year, but I was scared of moving away from home. The reality had set in that I would be away from what mattered to me even more than lacrosse, my family. I had gotten pretty low and doubted if this was what I really wanted anymore. My dad, as usual, looked at me and said, "Stefano, this is what you have dreamed about for years. I've watched you work so hard for this. You can't doubt yourself now. You have to do what you feel is right in your heart and what makes you happy. This is about your dreams and your future. We are always going to be here for you when you need us." That support he has always shown me is something I'll never forget in my lifetime. My dad is also the most selfless person I've ever met. Other than donating his time and money to many causes, he's always doing the things for his family and friends. He has taken in many friends and workers as if they are family. He is truly a man for others. One way he has shown this is his passion for keeping me and my friends hydrated at all times. I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. He will bring cases of water, chocolate milk, pear juice, cookies, oranges, Snicker bars, you name it, to feed the whole team during games. He will set up tents to make sure all the parents and kids are covered from the sun. He would be so focused on making sure everyone around him was comfortable that he would forget about himself. He would get back to the hotel room slumbered and cramping, as if he had been the one playing the games. He's always putting other people first. One of my favorite moments of my dad as a water boy was a hot day in Maryland. We had just arrived for the last game. He had brought down the cooler that weighed about 90 pounds, filled with waters, for the whole team. After the game, everyone climbed up the hill to the parking lot. Benny Perez and I could not find my dad. We were looking everywhere. We finally found him along his way up the side of the hill in flip-flops, dragging the 90-pound cooler. He was profusely sweating, dragging it through the mud. Once we had finished laughing hysterically at him, we asked him, why did he do it? He said, because no one else would get the cooler for the mom who had brought it, so he decided to do it. And it's little moments like that that taught me the meaning of being a man for others. He is also a great family man. His dad died at 51, forcing him to begin running the family business. He was able to successfully run the dealership and support his family. Dad is always supporting the people he loves. He does this not only by being a father to me, but to all my friends as well. He treats every one of them like they are his own sons. Taking care of them during the cross tournaments their parents can attend, or making them a water limited by the bed when they sleep over at the house. The list can go on and on. 30 years out of Jesuit, and he continues to live every day devoted to being a man for others. Now, Dad, I want to thank you. You've been an amazing example of what it means to be a father. I will always remember the times you've been there for me. And I'm truly going to miss you next year. Thank you for helping me fulfill my dreams. I hope one day I'll be the father you are. Thank you for making me the man I am today. I love you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Stefano. It's a real privilege for me to introduce our guest speaker at this year's Men for Others dinner. Born Louis Leo Holtzel, January 6, 1937, he grew up in East Liverpool, Ohio, just up the Ohio River from his birthplace. He graduated from East Liverpool High School, earned a Bachelor of Science degree in History from Kent State in 1959 and an MA from Iowa in Arts and Education in 1961. He began coaching in 1969, a career that spanned 4 decades, and one that many of the men in this room are very familiar with. In that time, he established himself as one of the most successful college football coaches of all time. As a head coach, despite never inheriting a winning team, he compiled a 243-127 career record that ranked him at the time 3rd in victories among active coach and 8th in winning percentage. His 12 career postseason bowl victories ranked him 5th on the all-time list. And in 2008, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. He stands alone as the only coach in the history of college football to take 6 different teams to a bowl game, to win 5 bowl games with different teams, and to have 4 different college teams ranked in the final top 20 poll. His off-the-field accomplishments are just as impressive. He's authored 3 New York Times best-selling books and has received 14 honorary doctorate degrees. In 1998, he and his wife Beth founded the Holtz Charitable Foundation, a nonprofit grant-making corporation. The foundation's mission is to promote Christianity, education, and charity through fundraising activities as well as private and corporate donations. A devout Catholic and active in the faith, he also participated recently in the Catholics Come Home ad during the Super Bowl to encourage weekly Mass attendance and the reception of the sacraments. As we all know, he most recently concluded an 11-year stint as a college football video analyst for ESPN. He's known all over the world as one of the smartest, toughest coaches ever to take the field. But to at least one member of our Jesuit family, Chad, a senior, he's known simply as his grandfather. We want to give a warm Tiger welcome to Coach Lou Holtz.
Father, it's beautiful. If I could listen to all day, and just like you, I thought I was going to have to. I don't stand behind the podium because I'm going to go preach to you next year. I just want to talk to you. I want to share thoughts and ideas. First of all, how proud I am to be here with Chad and, of course, my son Skip and 3 generations here. I also am delighted to be here because of the respect I have for Jesuits. Jesuit High School, and I've been down here for many basketball games, etc. The pride you have in the school, the religious atmosphere, the values they teach, reminds me an awful lot like Notre Dame. You get 2 educations. One's an education on how to make a living. The other education is probably more important, an education on how to live. Now, I want to tell you, I don't care how much you love your parents. There's no way in this world you can love your parents half as much as they love you. And you won't understand that if you have children of your own. I think I can speak on behalf of every father here, as I wrote my children several years ago. I said, I don't care if you want to become president of the United States or if you end up in prison. The 3 things that are never going to change. Number 1, I'm always going to love you. Number 2, you're always going to be my son. Number 3, I'll always be there for you. That's what Father is. This event tonight, I think, is absolutely marvelous. Wouldn't it be great if the entire country would do things like this, relationship with the Father and the Son? See, I understand 10%. I mean, you won't remember 10% of what is said 10 minutes after 7. For the next few minutes, I'm just going to share thoughts and ideas. Now, understand this. It isn't going to be complicated what I'm going to talk to you about. The stories I shared with you are absolutely true. I'm going to talk about things I believe, not something I read about or heard about, things I believe in the bottom of my heart. And I'm not very smart. I was in the lower third of my high school class. I hate to say that. And Father, you and I have the same job. We're both working to beat hell. But we just... Same thing. We written 3 New York Times bestsellers. You look at the only guy in the world who's written more books than he has read. So I understand. There are a lot of things in this world that I don't understand. See, I don't understand how a black cow eats green grass, produces white milk, and yellow chicken. I don't understand how you take hydrogen and oxygen, both are odorless, colorless, and tasteless, combined with black carbon to produce white, sweet sugar. I don't understand why they sell hot dogs in packages of 8 and hot dog buns in packages of 6. I don't understand why a kamikaze pilot wore a helmet. And I really don't understand why other people tell other people about their problems. 90% of the people don't care about your problems, and the other 10% are glad you got them. But the one thing they always have is problems. That's not what life is about, is solving problems. See, life doesn't have to be complicated. I've been 18, you've never been 78, so I think that's a little bit of an advantage. But see, it doesn't have to be complicated. Do you realize there are only 7 colors of the rainbow? But look what Michelangelo did with those 7 colors. There's only 7 musical notes. Look what Beethoven did with those 7 musical notes. There are only 26 letters. Look what Shakespeare did with those 26. There's only 10 numbers. Look what Bernie Madoff did with those. But it doesn't have to be complicated. We have to make that complicated. Okay, I tell you this. Life is nothing more than making good choices. If you choose to do drugs, drop out of school, join the gang, get tattoos from head to bottom, you're probably choosing that difficulty in life. The minute we understand, let's make good choices. And making good choices is not very difficult. I believe it's much easier to learn to make good choices when you go to a nice Catholic high school like this. See, I was raised a Catholic, very strong Catholic. And I learned a very valuable lesson in the 7th grade. I had a nun named Sister Mary Harriet who disliked me with probably pretty good justification. I was always saying things that upset her. There was a time Catholics could not eat meat on Friday the entire year round. I just said, all 52 weeks you could not eat meat on Friday, and I don't like fish. So every Friday I complained, I wish the apostles had been ranchers rather than fishermen. Somebody said, why did you become a vegetarian? Vegetarian is an old Indian word which stood for bad hunter. So, and I was asking her a question she couldn't answer. Why did Paul keep writing the Corinthians when they never wrote them back? One day we had a huge cast like this where everybody else could push my favorite flag. And I started looking around out of Portland. I was not trying to cheat, but I didn't want to look at a blank paper. She thought I was trying to cheat. She told me, Lou, I even suspect you of cheating. I'm taking 10% off your grade. I got out the textbook and said 90 sounds good to me. So, huge common sense. I'm going to give you 3 rules. I'm going to give you 3 rules, I guarantee you. You follow these 3 rules, you'll always make good choices. We have federal laws, county laws, state laws, corporate laws, bylaws, in-laws, and outlaws. We only need 3 laws. These 3 laws, I don't care what phase of your life you're talking about. See, I'm going to make 5 assumptions about the people in this room. I'm going to assume you want to be successful in your professional life. I'm also going to assume, remember this, assume if you write it out, spells ass, you, me. But I'm going to make this assumption also, that you want to be very successful in your personal life. I'm also going to assume you want to feel needed by other people. The 4th assumption I'm going to make, you want to feel secure in your future. The last assumption I'm going to make is you want to go to heaven. With those 5 assumptions, I'm going to give you 3 rules that allow you to achieve all 5 of those goals. See, I don't think we have to sacrifice our professional life in order to have a good family life. There's only 3 rules. Rule number 1, do what's right. Do what's right, avoid what's wrong. If you have any doubt, get out the Bible. I do not think it's right to find a teammate's wallet before he lost it. And that's called stealing, son. I found his wallet, but he hadn't lost it yet. Just do the right thing. And I think part of the right thing is be honest. Be loyal, be on time. I think it's also right to have a proper attitude. The attitude is a choice we make. Oh, God gave us a lot of wonderful powers. We have the power to love, to think, create, to imagine, to plan. greatest power we have is the power to choose. You choose whether you're going to act or procrastinate, believe or doubt, pray or courage, help or something. You also choose the attitude you're going to have, and that's by far more important than anything else. It's amazing how you can change people's attitude and change their productivity. When I go to the University of Notre Dame, the program was that. We had a quarterback by the name of Steve Berline, ended up playing 16 years in the NFL. He was a 3-year starter. He was all these passing records. He was the star of a losing team. And I sat down with him the first week I'm there. Now this is how Steve remembered the conversation. I said, Steve, you're a 3-year starter. You own all the records. That's wonderful. And I like a running quarterback. You aren't very fast. And he interrupted me. He said, how slow do you think I am, Coach? I said, Steve, if you got in a race with a pregnant mother, the best you'd finish would be third. I said, that's not what bothers me. What bothers me, you threw 17 interceptions as a junior. I said, son, I make this commitment to you. You will not throw 7 interceptions your senior year. He got all excited. I said, oh, that's great. Is that the way you run the routes and read the coverages? I said, no. When you get to 6, you ain't playing anymore. And have fun with what you do. Enjoy life. Don't go around, oh, woe is me. Every day I walked out on the football field, the first thing I said, boy, what a great day to work. And I meant that. See, if you have fun doing something, people have fun being around you. People said you have fun doing TV, not necessarily. I'm up here in Bristol, Connecticut for 10 years. I was retired, which is 15 minutes from Hartford by telephone. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And I thought there was a guy named Mark May. Now, let me tell you, Mark May is one beautiful human being. He's smart, he's intelligent, he's a professional. I love him like a brother. Mark May called and said, Coach, I need your help tonight. I'd be on an airplane. That's how much I think of. But our difference of opinion. Mark was a player, I was a coach. He made suggestions, I made decisions. He showered after work, I showered before work. He signed a paycheck on the back, I signed it on the front. You know, we just have a different way. So regardless, when they turned the red light on, I was going to have fun. He said, yeah, fun. Well, I may not, but I'm going to have fun when I'm doing something because the people want to be around you. They want to watch you. Doesn't mean I don't do dumb things. I was on TV one time called the University of Auburn. The next week, I had to get on and apologize. So I called the University of Auburn. Many of you Auburn alums have written me to explain it's Auburn University. You don't want to confuse it with University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa. I understand that. I'm a quick learner. I appreciate many of you write. You don't have to write anymore. I will not make the mistake again, but thank you anyway. I then turned to Reese Davis and said, you know, Reese, I had no idea that many people from Auburn could write. I try to be honest, but the one time on TV I did lie. Mark May said on TV about my golf game. I said, I want you to know, I'm the best golfer in Lake Nona. Now, Lake Nona, we have some professional golfers there. Justin Rose, Graham McDowell, Eon Poulter, Henry Stinson, Jerry Whitman. I come back the next day and all the members of Lake Nona lie because see, I'm not a very good golfer. Eric Parsager was bragging to me at age 76. He shot his age 76 times. I said, Eric, I want you to know something. At age 78, I shot my weight 78 times. And all the players were on me and said, you lied. Everybody at Lake Nona. I said, let me tell you something. 300 members of Lake Nona know I lied. 300 million people think I'm a hell of a golfer. People control your attitude. It's amazing. And attitude, yeah. I remember I was raised in East Liverpool, Ohio. These true stories. I'm in East Liverpool, Ohio, in high school, and there's a group of us swimming in the Ohio River. Somebody got the brilliant idea when I was swimming across the river to West Virginia. Whoever finished last would walk back across the bridge, get the car, drive over, and pick the rest of us out. There were about 7 of us. Just before we started, my best friend, Nevin Stockdale, said, I'm not going. I said, what do you mean you're not going? He said, I can't swim that far. He said, I get halfway across the river, I'll start to drown, and boy, my mom will really get upset. I said, never, I tell you, you can make it, but I want to tell you something. If you can't make it, I'll save you. He said, "You do that?" I said, "You got no work." So we started. 1/4 way across the river, next way. Halfway across the river, he goes to 3/4 away across the river, he started to drown as he predicted. And what did he do? He called upon me to save his life. Now, I did the same thing you would have done if you were in my situation. I tried to pretend I couldn't hear him. I was worried about Lou Holtzrod. He was my best friend, as long as my feet could touch it, right? And everybody else had already finished. They begged for help, I prayed for help, prayed for help, nobody came. Finally, in desperation, Nevin did the only thing he could do to save his life. He turned around and swam back. He ended up swimming a mile and a half, because deep down inside he didn't believe he could swim a mile. So you can succeed when no one believes you. You have no chance to succeed if you do not believe yourself. You can't let anybody else control your attitude. It has to be one, I can get things done. A few years ago, we took Notre Dame down to play Florida in the Sugar Bowl, coached by Steve Springer. They're number 3 in the country, had a great team. We were an underdog. I thought we'd win the game, which we eventually did. But not many other people did. And one thing we went to a ball, I always wanted our team to be at home on Christmas Eve. During those 2 days, I brought my wife and my 4 children to Orlando and we went out to dinner. And I'm never happier than when I'm with my children and my wife. We have 4 children, we're all girls but 2. I'm real proud of that. I'm in a great mood. The waiter came up to me. He said, "You're the Holtz head coach of Notre Dame, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir." I took out my pen thinking he wanted an autograph, and he said, "Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between Lou Holtz?" He said, "What's the difference between Notre Dame and Cheerios?" I said, "I don't have a clue." He said, "Cheerios belong to the bowl, Notre Dame doesn't." I'm in Orlando, we're going to play Florida and Sugar, but it made me mad because I'm rather competitive. And finally my wife said, "You're going to let somebody you never met before, you're never going to see again, you're going to let them ruin this evening come with the family you love," because something stupid he said. "You cannot let other people control your attitude." I said, "You're right, and my attitude changed, I don't want to believe you." Felt so good a little bit later, I called the waiter back up and I said, "So let me ask you a question. What's the difference between Lou Holtz and a golf pro?" He said, "I don't have a clue." I said, "A golf pro gets tips," which he found out when the meal was over. Just do the right thing. Rule number 2, do everything to the very best of your ability. See, not everybody can be all American. Not everybody can be all top. Not everybody can be first team, but everybody can be the best they're capable of. I also want to tell you this: have goals, have dreams, have ambition. When I was in grade school, the nun said to me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a garbage man." She said, "Why is that?" I said, "They only work on Tuesday." But you know, it's having goals and dreams. Now, let's say next year, I'm talking to the underclassmen now. You want to win the state championship, or you want to go to this college, whatever else you want to do, answer these 5 questions. Number 1, what price are you willing to pay to do it? Decide what you want to do, and then what price am I willing to pay to do it? What sacrifice am I willing to make? Second question, what skills and talents do I have to acquire in order to get that done? You got to block, got to throw better. Number 3, who do I have to work with in order to achieve that goal? Number 4, what problems and obstacles am I going to have to overcome in order to get it, because it isn't going to come easy? The last question you have to ask yourself, what's my plan? Whether it be to go to Notre Dame or whatever, just have a goal. Do everything to the very best of your ability, as I say. You know, I was in Arkansas several years ago. And all we had to do was beat SMU. We'd be invited to the Orange Bowl for the first time in the history of the school. Arkansas had never been there. Not only that, we would play Oklahoma, which would be number 1 in the country at the time. And the last time Arkansas played Oklahoma was in the 20s. Oklahoma beat them 108-0. We're ahead of SMU 42-14 in the 4th quarter. Fans were throwing oranges on the field. Everybody's excited. After the game, the media said, "What do you think?" And the fans were throwing oranges on the field. I said, "Thank God we weren't going to the Gator Bowl." Exciting time, but then, I had to suspend 3 athletes and scored 78% of our touchdowns. Now, people think I'm a disciplinarian. I'm not. I've never disciplined anybody in my life, including my children. All we ever do is enforce your decision. You choose to do this, you're choosing not to play. It's that simple. And when they chose to do something, which was a serious violation, I said, you're going to play. It wasn't my choice. I didn't want to get rid of 78% of our touchdowns. They got an injunction, took me to court for the right to play. The Attorney General for Arkansas represented me, Bill Clinton. Good friend of mine, did a marvelous job. We won the case. But I lost our football team. We became the largest underdog there's ever been in a major bowl. Finally, 4 days before the game, our team was in complete disarray. I remember having a team meeting. I said, I know why we can't win. I know why we can't beat Oklahoma. Because every day I picked up the paper and I read about the great players from Oklahoma going to play. And in that same paper, I read about the great players from Arkansas that are not going to play. So I know why we can't win. Tell me why we can't. For a while, nobody said anything. Finally, Charles Clay stood up and said, Coach, we have the #1 defense in the country, which we did. He said, so we aren't going to get beat near as bad as everybody said. Wasn't what I wanted, but it was a step in the right direction. And the more they thought about it, they pointed out we had a great offensive line, we had a great competitive quarterback, we had a great wide receiver, we had a great punter, a great place kicker. I wanted them to say they had a great coach that never came up. They left the room with a different team. Why? They focused on why they could do something, rather than listen to everybody tell you why you can't. We're going to have an awful lot of people tell you why you can't do something, why you can't achieve. I always say, Jesus, if you believe and you do everything the very best that you're ability. That's all anybody can ask. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3 is very simple. Show people you care. You're never going to meet anybody again that doesn't need a kind word, doesn't need a smile, doesn't need encouragement. We all have problems. We all have difficulties. My wife and I are opposite night and day, and I want to tell you, she's a beautiful person. We've been married 53 years, my best friend. And a couple of years ago, I was playing golf. I said, 53 years with my best friend. He said, your wife's not your best friend. I said, no, she is. He said, no, your dog is. I said, you're wrong. He said, well, try this. Lock your wife and your dog in the trunk of the car, go back in 2 hours and see which one's happy to see. My wife and I are opposite that day. She said opposites attract and then attack. And she left me a note on her. She didn't have much of a sense of humor. She said, Lou, I can't please everybody in the world, so I'm going to stop trying. So I go focus on pleasing one person a day. The day's not your day, and tomorrow doesn't look real promising either. She's done 1 interview in her life. So that doing cancer. She's a stage 4 cancer survivor. We gave her 10% chance to live. She had 13 hours of surgery, 83 radiation treatments, her weight went to 129.80. I'm happy to report she's doing well now. Matter of fact, I don't even pray for her anymore. I pray to her. She did do 1 interview. Because I do cancer. They said to her, what'd you learn from having cancer? She said, I learned how much my family loved me. We didn't love her anymore. We showed her. Why does somebody have to go through a catastrophe before we let them know how important we are? It was so great today about listening to the 2 young men come up here and talk about their father. I know each and every one of you can come up. We can do that tomorrow. Doesn't have to be tonight. Whether it's our children or other people. Let them know we do this. Nothing ever gets harder than that. She learned about what to do. My wife says to me all the time, how can you talk about caring about people with your bumper sticker? I have a bumper sticker on my golf cart and I have it on my car. We go to church on Sunday, she makes me park in the back of the parking lot in front of the back gate so that I can read it. I don't think it's that bad. The bumper sticker said, Jesus loves you. Everybody else thinks you're an asshole. I've never needed a fourth rule. You do the right thing, you do the best you can, and you show people you care. You walk in the room, your attitude, there you are, how can I help you? Your attitude, hey, here I am, look at me, it's all about me. No. Those three rules. Why are those three rules so important? I quickly got to wrap this up. I've already exceeded my 25 minutes that they gave me. But everybody you meet has three questions. The three questions everybody's going to ask about you the rest of your life, the same three questions you're going to ask about other people. Question number one is, can I trust you? See, there's no way to have a relationship if it's not based on trust. There's only one way to ever get trust. You do what's right. It's important to do what's right because then people will always be able to trust you. The second question everybody asks, are you committed to excellence? As long as you're doing everything to the best of your ability, you'll answer that question. Oh, you can have all this luggage, what first will be best, then will be first. I want to tell you, it's more important than anything else, do it to the very best of your ability. I happen to coach Ohio State. We won the national championship under a guy by the name of Woody Hayes. Beautiful person, loved him, learned so much from him. Woody Hayes said, your obligation's a parent. Your obligation of coach. Not to be popular, not to be more like. Your obligation to make them the very best they can be, and that is by having standards. And don't compromise standards. There are too many people that are parents or leaders that worry about being well liked and so they want to make everybody happy. That's not your goal. Woody Hayes said, if you want a friend, buy a dog. And there's a lot of truth in that as a coach. He and I had some different opinions, but I loved him. We were playing Southern Cal. Rose Bowl for the national champion, they had a backman named O.J. Simpson. Last thing Coach Chase said, O.J. learned how to score a touchdown. January 1, second quarter, O.J. Simpson takes a handoff to 80 yards for a touchdown. I was up in the press box, Woody Hayes on the sideline, fortunately. I walked to the locker room at halftime, I'll never forget the first thing at training time. Woody Hayes, the man I admired, loved, and respect. He run up to me, he basically placed his left hand on my shoulder. Squeeze mine got about that big. Now, you have to understand, Coach Hayes, he really meant me no good tomorrow. Just want to be sure he had my undivided attention. The hard time was like, why the hell don't take 80 yards? I said, Coach, that's all you needed. You know? I learned so much from him. Most important thing, they can name you the head coach. They can name you father. Can't name you the leader. The people can give you titles, but leaders come from below, and you have to have a vision where you want to go to plan, how you're going to get there. But it's not very complicated. Do the right thing. The people can trust you. Do the best you can. They know you're committed to excellence. You always show people you care. There isn't any such thing as magic. I fool around with magic a little bit. They asked me to do this. I like to do a simple trick for you. Just like any other newspaper. You have a front page for people who want to read the news. You have the comments for people who can't read. Then we have the editorial page for people who can't think. But this is what I want you to do. Take two people. Take somebody you love, admire, and respect. Take somebody you got a problem with. It can be anybody. Put these three questions on both people. Simple yes or no. Can you trust them? Yes or no. Are they committed to excellence? Yes or no. They care about you and the organization, yes or no. I used to do this by phone book when I did your But they care about you and the organization, yes or no. I guarantee you, person you admire and respect, you just said yes to all three questions. First you got a problem with, you've been put in the problem. You can't trust them, they aren't committed, they don't care. That's the fact. But it I wake up middle night screaming because I can't figure it out either. But hey, Jim, I started off by saying 10%. I wouldn't remember 10% of what I said 10 minutes after 7. And for the last 33 minutes, you give me your most prized possession. I'm glad to be here and have the opportunity. I wish you nothing but the very best. I guarantee you, make good choices. You follow those three rules, you'll make good choices all your life. leave you with this very last thought. Want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. Want to be happy for a day? Play golf. Want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. Doesn't mean going on a cruise like being in jail except you have the chance to drown. Want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. Want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. Want to be happy for a lifetime? Make good choices. Make good choices. People would miss you if you didn't show up. If you didn't go home, would anybody miss you? If they did, why? If you didn't go to work the morning with the Father, would anybody miss you? Why? If your business went out of business, would your customers miss you? Why? See, the only people we miss, those that have value to other people. Follow those 3 rules. You would be missed. Thank you. Congratulations.
Coach Holtz, and we'll remain standing and we'll close with a prayer. I think it's fitting for us to close Men's Brothers Dinner with a prayer for generosity and then we'll invoke the intercession of St. Ignatius. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear Lord, teach me to be generous.
Teach me to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost,